Hello my craft friends, are you ready to do some adorable DIY crafts using old school nostalgic Dollar Tree craft supplies that I know a lot of you probably have in your stash as well? If so, let's go ahead and get started. This DIY is using a lot of old school kind of Dollar Tree supplies, and first we're going to be using this wood hanging decor. I love how they describe things at the Dollar Tree, like whatever. And so this wood square, it's 12 by 12. I'm sure a few of you have these in your stash. And then I'm going to be using some of the new peel and stick wallpaper. I have this little welcome sign that I made on one of their little, remember when they used to sell the little jagged edge wood blanks? Well, we got that. Also, I'm going to be using one of their tiles. Now, I just took the liberty of painting it because this was from another project, and it was painted like, I forget what color anyway, but I just repainted it this tan color. It's actually this Skinny Dip by Color Shot, which I love this spray paint. And I painted that this color. And this is going to be super easy, but it's so cute. Well, I hope it's so cute. Let's see. So we're going to start by removing our hanger tag. Okay, we have that out. So now what we want to do is we're going to divide our piece in half. So let's take our ruler, and it's 12 inches. So we're going to mark it with a pencil at the 6. And then that way we know where to put our pieces. So now that we have that marked, I'm going to start with the peel and stick wallpaper. And what do they call this design, just in case you're looking for it? Block print floral. And it is really pretty. I mean, that's like the prettiest pattern I think that they've come out with, in my opinion. Okay. So now we're going to just stick our wallpaper on this bottom half of our sign. So we'll peel this right here. And then we're going to stick it down. Actually, let me start at the edge here and then we'll stick it down. That way we'll have just a little bit to cut. Then I'm going to flip mine and cut it along the edge. And to do that, I think I'll use my X-Acto knife. So then we're going to take our painted tile, our faux tile, and we're going to cut it in half. And then once we have our piece cut in half, we're going to stick it down to the top side of our board. And to do that, you can do it any way you want. The hot glue seems to melt the plastic, and the stick glue and the spray glue. Like the spray glue I think would be the best option, probably, besides the option I'm going to use, which actually I think this is the best option, and that's going to be these little like scrapbooking tapes. And this particular one I got at, where did I get this? I think I got it at Walmart or something, and it is sticky. I'm telling you what, man. Anyway, and I'm just going to run it along the edge here of my tile. All right, and then we're going to take and stick it down to our wood piece. See how sticky it is already? I love it. Perfect. That actually works really, really well for these tiles. Now we're just going to take and we're going to glue our sign down. Oh, look at how cute it's looking already. I think it looks so cute. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stain the edge and the back side of my board, and I'm going to be doing it with this antique stain by Waverly. And I think I might actually run it over the whole thing, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, this is what I'm going to use. So let's see how this goes, and then I'll judge if I'm going to do the rest of it. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see how this goes. And I'm just going to do the edge right here like this. And some might get over on my tile, but that's okay. And also, I kind of like it just at the edge there. It kind of adds a little bit of rusticness to it. All right. Oh, that looks so good. I brought the stain across the tile there. I think it looks so good. And I brought it up around the edges of the, can you see the aging of it? It looks so good. Can you see that too? All right, so now we are gonna take, and I wanna add some greenery to the top of my sign here. So I'm going to do that. I think I'm gonna use this, which is so pretty. I think it's gonna look perfect. So let's go ahead and use this. And I got this at, oh my gosh, Old Time Pottery. That's how long I've had this. Is that crazy? Oh my. All right, let's move on. All right, so now we're just gonna clip our greenery. Okay, so then once we have our greenery on, we have what looks like this, and I think it looks so cute. But now I want to add a bow right here, and I'm going to be using this gingham ribbon, and I've actually seen some of this at Dollar Tree, but this is just some older ribbon that I got. I don't even know where I got this, but I think it's going to look so cute. Okay, and then once we have our bow done, we're left with this cute little piece of home decor. And I think for all Dollar Tree supplies, it looks pretty cute. Now you can do whatever you want with it. You can turn it into a door hanger, a wreath sign. You can put it in your, just as a standalone on a shelf or something. But I think what I'm going to do, because I'm going to hang mine here in my office, and I'm just going to put the hanger on with some little pieces of felt. That way I don't have to add a sawtooth hanger. I can just, it's kind of like the professional picture framing style. So let's do that. So we're just going to add a little bit of this on both sides. Then pull it tight. Pull it tight like that. Actually, I probably could use a little more glue over here. A little more glue. Then you just pull it tight like that, and then you're just going to take your pieces of felt and stick those over your twine. That way you've made a professional wire-like hanger on the back. So then that way you don't have to find the center of your board. You don't have to do any of that craziness. And then you have your hanger right here. So it works out perfectly. And then we'll just trim up these little ends here. There we go. And then just like that, we have a cute little piece of wall decor. Okay, my craft friends, what did you think of this first DIY? I think it turned out quite cute for recycling and using old Dollar Tree supplies. All right, now we're going to move on to our second Dollar Tree DIY, and it is quite adorable. All right, for this kind of old school Dollar Tree, we're going all the way back to 2021 when they released these little cutie pie seahorses. How fun were these? Anyway, and I actually know it's 2021 because I looked on the back of the tag and it says 2021. Whoa, all right. So I think it's time we use this bad boy, don't you think? You're also going to need some of their peel and stick wallpaper. Now, I went in the other day looking for this particular pattern, and I found it, and I love it so much. So let's go ahead and get started. And this is going to be so super easy, but you know what? Hey, we love easy crafts too, right? Not everything has to be building the Eiffel Tower. Am I right? Am I right? All right, so we're just going to start by taking the little strip off that allows you to kind of maneuver it and adjust it. And then I'm going to be sticking mine face down. So we'll start here. And how do I want to do this? Do I want to I think I want to do it with the back teeth, this. So we're going to start and we're just going to stick it down as close as we can get it. Because the least trimming we have to do, the better. We'll just stick it down, making sure everything is covered. Okay, and then we're going to flip it over and we're just going to peel back what we need. Actually, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking maybe I should just cut it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. We've got it stuck down. So now we're going to cut out before we stick it down. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Because I think it's going to be easier to cut before it gets too sticky. You know what I mean? And then we can use the other pieces for some other DIYs. I love that pattern, don't you guys? I just love it. All right, so now we've got that stuck down, and now we're just going to peel back our layer here, making sure we get it nice and smooth. All right, and then we're just going to press it down really good. And you can use stick glue on the back of this if you want, but it's really pretty sticky. Yeah, let's see how sticky it is. Whoa, yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be perfect. But like I said, if you want it to be super, super sticky, more permanent, then just add some glue. All right, so now we're going to cut it out. Now, this might be a little tricky because I'm wondering if we should sand it. Let's see how it sands. We're going to cut it first here. All right, and these curvy little edges are kind of hard to sand around. So what I'm doing is taking my X-Acto knife. Well, they're not hard, but I just don't have the patience to do it right now. Anyway, I'm just going to cut around them with my X-Acto knife, and then you just kind of bust them off like that. And then you can come in and finish the edge with the sandpaper, with a finer sandpaper, because I was having a little bit of trouble getting into that corner there. So I thought, well, let's try this. And so we're going to do it. And then you'll just run your X-Acto knife. X-Acto knives are so amazing. Am I right? They really are. All right, so let's see how that worked. Yeah, see? That worked perfectly. Perfectly. And then we'll just keep on going and get it all sanded up. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so now that we have it sanded, the edges are sanded and the back is blank, I'm going to take and stain mine with some of this oak gel stain from Hobby Lobby. But you can use whatever stain you like. Hey my crafty friends, if you like what you see so far, don't forget to hit that like button and hit subscribe. We'd love to have you here at Sweet Bay Lane. Okay, so now I have the back done. And then we're just going to flip it over. It's still wet, it doesn't matter. And we're gonna run it across. It's already kind of messy, but we're just gonna run it across our paper here. We're gonna just kind of, you know, darken up the edges and then bring it across, making it kind of more of an antique look to it. All right, so now we have this done. And now we're really kind of kicking it old style with this old wooden block. And this is the solid one. It's not those flimsy ones. Where's the flimsy one? Here, I got one. This one, it's just like a light. You can hear the difference in there. And I wanted it to be heavy. I kind of missed these heavier wood blocks. That was a really good deal for $1, but hey, whatever, right? Okay, so now we're going to move on. We're going to remove our sticker. And I'm going to take my block and a skewer. Now, this is one of those barbecue skewers from the Dollar Tree, and it comes in the big long pack. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and glue mine to the back of my Seahorse here. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to take and drill a hole in my block, because what I want to do is I want to make it like a piece of home decor on this little block. So we'll see. It might be a little top heavy. I don't know. It is kind of a little top heavy, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we're going to find the center of our block. There. Okay, so now we're going to take and drill our center. Hopefully I got it straight. When you're drilling into stuff, if you don't have that little guide, you might get a little crook out. I don't know. All right, so now we're going to take and cut off our piece here. And I think I'm just going to use my little jeweler's trimmers. We'll see how that goes, huh? Okay, so we're going to we want it kind of tall-ish. So I think right here is good. So let's see if I can cut this. Nope, I can't. All right, let me cut this and then I'll be right back. Okay, and I just trimmed off the end, but I actually, it was easy. I just took my little hedge trimmers, my little pruners, and I just trimmed it right off. So that was easy enough. All right, so now we're going to take, and hopefully this fits. If not, we're in big trouble. Yes, we're in big trouble. All right, let me just see if I can wow this hole out a little bit so it fits. One can hope, right? There's always hope. Oh my gosh! All right, I picked the wrong bit, but that's okay. We're gonna carry on with our shenanigans here. We're gonna carry on wowing it out. Wow, it's wowing it. All right, yuck. All right, so let's see, did we wow it enough? We did, yay, we wowed it. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I am going to stain my stick and my block. So let's get that done and then we will glue them together. All right, my crafty friends, what did you think of this DIY project? I think it really put that Seahorse cutout to good use. All right, now we're going to continue on to our next DIY, and this one's going to be useful for my little dog River. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, for this kind of old school Dollar Tree, we're going to be using one of these hooks, which I actually have 3 of them. Do you guys remember this hook? I forget, it doesn't have the year on the back of it, but they are old. Let's put it that way. They're very old. I've had them in my stash for a while. And then you all are familiar with the wood plaques, which I think they're super cute. They're actually kind of harder to find nowadays. Well, where I live anyway. Where I live in South Florida, the Dollar Trees stink. Okay. Anyway, we're going to move on, and we're also going to be using this piece of peel and stick wallpaper. So, and we're going to start by, I think I'm just going to keep this natural because it looks so pretty and I think it matches that perfectly. And we're going to stick our wallpaper onto the front of our wood plaque. And for that, I think I'm going to actually use some glue. And I'm wondering, should I use the spray adhesive or should I use the Elmer's glue? I'm not sure what I will use actually. I guess I could use Mod Podge too, but I think I'm going to use this because this is pretty sticky. And I'm also going to take it out and spray it with some clear coat. So I'm thinking that the spray adhesive won't hold because of the wood so porous. So we'll just use some wood glue. I mean some glue stick. So we'll just use some of this. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. And along with, like I said, the back of it, it's going to be just perfect. So we need a piece about that big. So let me cut this down. We just need a piece about that big, and maybe we'll use this piece for something else. You never know. Okay, so let's peel this. All right, so we got it peeled, and then we're just going to stick it on. And once our glue dries, then we're going to take and sand the edges off. Okay. And then once we get it sanded, it comes off perfectly. Just perfectly. But I'm going to sand this edge too, just so it matches the other edges, even though there's not really any paper on it. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to just sand this. All right. Okay, so now we have that stuck on. I also want to put a hook on it. Now, we saw the hook in the beginning, and it actually comes with the hardware, which is perfect. So we're going to put our hook on, but I think that this color doesn't really match that beautiful pattern of that peel and stick wallpaper. So I'm going to take mine out, and I'm going to paint it in this satin seaweed by Rust-Oleum. So we're going to paint that the green, and we're also going to take this out, and we're going to give it a few good coats of the clear gloss 2-time ultra cover Rust-Oleum enamel paint. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll continue on with our project. All right, so now we have our piece sprayed. We have this clear coated, and I put a sawtooth hanger on the back because it's not going to be holding anything heavy. And now we're going to just attach our hook. And I'm wondering, I think I'll put it right in the center, actually. And we'll just center it up. And I didn't paint the screws because I wanted to have a little contrast with the piece. So I think the screws are pretty, the dark color. At least I think. We'll see when we get them screwed in, right? Okay. I went and painted the screws, and I think they look so much better painted. What do you guys think? Don't you think that's cute? I'll show you where I'm going to hang River's little towel. All right, my crafty friends, that wraps it up for these 3 fun Dollar Tree projects. What did you think? Which one was your favorite? Leave me a comment down below. Also, let me know what kind of nostalgic old school craft supplies you have from the Dollar Tree. I'm very curious to know if we have the same ones. And make sure you hit that subscribe button because we'd love to have you here at Sweet Bay Lane. And we have tons of fun videos coming up. Well, until next time, make sure and keep it crafty.